Well, hello, and welcome back to the Tao Manifesting Tarot, the tarot reading for thinking, thoughtful, intelligent people. I've done tarot for over 20 years, and in that time I have never found tarot to predictably predict anything. Yeah, once in a while I get lucky, but by and large, no. That's not the purpose I discovered over 20 years of doing tarot. That's not the purpose of tarot. The purpose of tarot is the science of potential. We're talking frequency. We're talking energy in the cards. That's what the readings are all about. And so if with that idea in mind, I keep my readings extremely focused, extremely simple. All you have is the 4 tarot cards, the one in the middle. That's the one that kind of sets the mood for the reading. But that's it. I see people lay out tarot cards by the dozens and think they're accomplishing something. What they're doing is looking for a needle in a haystack because they don't have faith in what they're doing, so they've got to make up stuff and, there's this and there's that. And by the time you're done with the reading, they've laid out 100 cards on the table and they've come at you from 100 different directions, so you're going to find something. And usually it's very superficial. This is not aimed at that at all. We do not live in superficial times. I think you can make an excellent case for saying these are historic times. Nothing matches or even comes close to in the last 7,000 years. And the reason I picked 7,000 years is that's recorded history. Once we get farther back than 7,000 years, things get a little hinky. We got the younger Dryas, the Ice Age, the older Dryas. We have all kinds of things that kind of step in the way. But once we get to about 11, 12,000 years ago, we begin to see vestiges of monumental civilization all around the world. Things that A, we didn't know about, or B, took for granted, like the pyramids in Egypt. We've been told for years, at least I was, this is where the pharaohs, they laid them to rest. There's bullshit. No truth to that at all. They've never found any trace of any pharaoh in any pyramid that we're talking about. We're beginning to see other things. One, that the pyramids are much, much older than we've ever been told. Egyptians had nothing to do. They were already there and had been there for a long, 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 long time. And there's all kinds of information coming out now. Even the Sphinx. At one point, I wouldn't say was buried by water, but certainly a third of it was covered in water. Well, there's nothing like that in the last 10,000 years that existed in Egypt to where the Sphinx would be covered by water. We know that because the base of it has marks of water erosion. We do have a pretty good idea that what is now the Sahara Desert at one point was a garden. And with some sort of disaster of one kind or another, the climate changed drastically and it became a desert. But that doesn't change the watermarks along the base of the Sphinx. It doesn't change the geometry, the sheer spectacular building of the pyramids and all of that. I mean, if you're looking for tombs of pharaohs, the Valley of Kings, away from the grand pyramids, Valley of Kings, you'll find them. You never find anything like that in the pyramids. And we have similar pyramid designs all over the world. We have stories of the flood all over the world. So we know something more has gone on, but we don't have enough to grab onto. We do have enough to grab onto, even though a lot of it's inaccurate, it turns out, over the last 7,000 years. And in that time, we have never lived in a period of history like we're living through right now. Because right now, the fate of humanity is at stake. And I'm not overstating this. I mean, you take a look, for example, just read a story this week, and I know I won't have all the details right, but something to the effect that they're putting nanoplastics into Coke, and I think maybe Pepsi. Bill Gates worked out a deal where they could put this, what they call plastic dust or something like that, into Coke, into Pepsi, pay more than $1 billion. What the hell would you put plastic into Coke or Pepsi for? No good can come of that because we're already getting plastic into our bodies. We know that that doesn't work with our bodies and create serious health issues. Why would you do that? Not good stuff. Then, of course, they're writing in the skies with clouds to change the weather. We got water polluted. The rich are buying up all the land they can, taking it away from us. Free speech? Are you serious? What the hell is free speech anymore? I got to watch what I say here because YouTube, if it gets a bug up its ass, it's, hey, well, you broke the rules. What rules? Well, they can't tell you exactly what the rules are, but you broke them. That's what they say. So it's a very perplexing time. And then, of course, by the way, we got the robots. We always have the possibility of a comet from space or some kind of ray coming from the sun. It's happened in the past. We know it can happen again. Oh, and I forgot. We're right on the edge of potential nuclear war. I mean, we got it all. So when you come to this reading every day, I come in with a serious mindset. We focus on a particular frequency. Hopefully it resonates with you. If it doesn't, that's perfectly okay. Not everything in the world resonates with everybody all the time. I've done numerology and astrology for 50 years. Never have I had a reading that fit everybody. You just don't have that. There's too many variables. Not only in people, but in astrology itself. Astrology and numerology are the science of cycles. If you know cycles, you got it. Like, you know when the new moon is coming up. You know when the full moon is coming up. You know when it's going to be spring. You know when it's going to be summer. What is that, satanic? No, it's knowing cycles. Well, that's ideally what numerology and astrology are about. And from time to time, I give you some examples linking times up. I will continue to do that in the future. Just so that you get the idea that they're talking about energies. The same planetary configurations with Pluto and Uranus at the American Revolution 1776. Guess what? They're present now. Now. Is there a connection between 1776 and now? I think so. People are looking for evolution and potentially revolution. They want change, positive change. So once you get that feel, now you start focusing in on the tarot. Okay, great. So what's the potential? What's the frequency? And so every day I do a new frequency, sort of new marching orders if it resonates with you. If it does, that's the door opening. Walk through. Walk through. Don't hesitate. Well, I don't know where it's going to lead. That's the point. You don't know in life. You could walk out the door and get hit by something. You could sneeze, have a stroke, depending on your overall physical condition. I mean, there's no guarantee for anything. So if you match up with the reading, and there's only about 1 in 10, maybe 2 in 10 who do, go. Have an adventure. Could change your life in the most pleasant, positive ways. For the rest of us, well, there's tomorrow, next week, next month. Don't worry, I do a brand new reading every day, 365. Oh, by the way, again, please like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. That's important for the internet. It's the only tool that I have. Otherwise, they're looking for me to say something that they object to. I'm not the only one by any stretch of imagination. Being censored is the common human experience these days. If the government doesn't like what you say, bad, they'll take you off the internet. So, like, subscribe, share. Okay, now back to the tarot. So what do we got? Middle card, the oracle card, sets the mood, says breathe. Seems like such a simple thing. It is basic, because if you don't breathe, you ain't going to live. I mean, you go without food for 3 months, probably. You can go without water for 3 days. You can go without breathing at the most 3 minutes. So breath is important, and it really boils down to chemistry. It's the oxygen, along with the hydrogen in the body. We are walking chemical explosions. We're chemical engines. And so we need the food to be able to get the energy. We need the water to combine to bring in the oxygen. And we need the air, and the oxygen and air together with the other chemicals keep us alive. Without breathing, we're gone. The idea here is to create a flow. Breathe. Okay, on one hand, that means, yes, physically breathe. But on the other hand, it means let your spirit breathe. Create the flow of life. Allow it. Got this meme today from Dr. Bruce Lipton, a casual friend of mine. He says, the moment you change your perception is the moment you rewrite the chemistry of your body. And that's important because that's what breath does. It changes in a positive way your body's chemistry. Takes me to a little point of information today. This happened back several months ago, and it really stuck with me. I believe much of what we call religion is religion because when it was first proposed, we were not scientifically intelligent enough to kind of put all the parts and pieces together. So some greater intelligence, whether you want to call it God, whether you want to call it aliens, it doesn't make any difference. Words is words, as long as the concept is the same. Okay. So it led me to something. I was raised Roman Catholic. The importance of the word Yahweh, which of course is supposedly I am who am. Nobody really knows what the translation is. They're kind of making it up. They think it has something to do with the identity of God, Yahweh. Y-A-H-W-E-H. But what you pronounce are not the vowels, because there were no vowels in Hebrew. What you focus on is the Y, the H, the W-H. And this preacher said something that confirmed how I felt about religion. It's codifying our behavior because we can't figure it out. 10 commandments are there for our good. You don't cheat on your wife. You don't cheat on your family. You don't kill. You don't steal. You don't. All of this makes perfect sense. Yahweh fits that to a T. One of the, and I don't have the exact quote, but one of the lines in the Bible is to pray constantly, all day. How the hell are you supposed to do that if you're carrying on a life? How can I be saying Our Father as an example and carrying on? I can't. However, Yahweh is the answer. And he said, you get rid of the A and the H, and it's just Y-H-W-H. It's Yahweh. In other words, it's breath. You're breathing in Yahweh. 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 Breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling, exhaling. The very first thing that you do as a human being as a baby breathes in. It breathes. Yahweh. Does it a little differently. It kind of yells it, screams it, whatever. And the last breath, if you've ever been next to somebody who passes, that's the last thing they do, that final breath. Yahweh. And so you do that. It's telling you to breathe every moment of every day. That's your connection. That's your existence. That's your identity. That's your touch with God, divinity. Yahweh. All of a sudden, it's not religion anymore. It's science, which, of course, ideally is what religion is anyway. So what you're doing is creating a flow in your life. You're breathing. You're allowing, enhancing that flow. Let's go take a look at the tarot side of it. The Queen of Pentacles all the way to the left. Queen of Pentacles has a great set of values. That's what separates her from everybody else. She's sourceful, down to earth, organized, mature, trustworthy. She knows why, as an example, the 10 Commandments are so important. And it has nothing to do with religion. It has to do with Yahweh, our life. She gets it. She knows it. And the card next to her is a 9 of Pentacles, which is the 9 of Pentacles mini version of the Queen of Pentacles. This gal grows into the Queen of Pentacles. As her values develop, she becomes a queen, master. Her values support her life on all levels. And she doesn't change. She doesn't vary. She knows why they are valuable. Next card over is the 3 of Wands. Wands are positivity, excitement, enthusiasm, joy, gratitude. When you have this good set of values very firmly established, and that's the reason I did this Yahweh thing today. You want to think of it as I am who I am, fine, great. But the fact of the matter is if you do it properly, if you pronounce it, Yahweh, you're breathing. That breath is a prayer. That breath is our connection to divinity, our life. That's the flow. And so what the 3 of Pentacles is doing is he's showing right now that he has mind, body, spirit all lined up. Those are the 3 staffs, wands. Mind, body, spirit. That's the human trinity. Mind, body, spirit. He's lined up and he's anticipating the future. He's creating the flow right now. And what that does is reconnect him with himself. The final card is the 4 of Cups. You see this person's disconnected to the point where it won't even accept anything positive coming from the universe. It's tuned out. Doesn't want to hear about it anymore. Right? They're bored. They have no motivation. They're not open to the flow. Yahweh. I'm not teaching Christianity. I'm not trying to sneak it in there. In fact, just the opposite. What I'm telling you is how we live has been codified by religious rules because we were too ignorant of science to be able to do it on our own. But if you do follow those codes, you create a flow in your life. And all it takes is to let yourself breathe. Yahweh. That's the reading for today. Back again tomorrow with another Tao Manifested reading. Hope you're here with me because you are the one that make it valuable, I got to tell you. But between now and the next time you and I do get together and do tarot, peace and blessings.